Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Beekeeper video. The smoker is smoking, and it is time to get to the hive. There is no time to waste here. So thank you guys for all the support on my previous beekeeping video. A lot of people were interested, and that made me very happy. It's been a little over 2 weeks since I last inspected my hive, and it is kind of well overdue. You can see I'm ready to expand the hive. I have painted and stained. Why I do that is because the beehive has got to be outside at all times, and it is susceptible to water damage. Now, I made that mistake with my first box where I did not have it stained, and I kind of sprayed it like a clear coat so it doesn't sustain any kind of water damage. Here is the hive. I also put it on these little blocks to kind of, you can see water is pooling here, so I would rather have the water damage this random 2x4 than the bee box. So I walked past here a little bit earlier, and you can see the bees are very active right now. And like I said in my last video, my main priority is the bees, so the filming might not be perfect, but let's smoke them out so they don't start going even crazier than they already are. My other goals in this inspection, I want to see if the beetle treatment is working and if there's any mites. Mites are a big problem. Now, I wouldn't say this necessarily is bearding. Bearding is when the hive gets way too overcrowded and it starts to get hot, so they kind of hang out on the front porch. That's when you know you need to expand. It's been really rainy here in Wisconsin the last few weeks, but the weather forecast, if you trust those lying weathermen, it's supposed to be nice the next few weeks. So I'm just going to basically expand no matter what, unless there's some really bad signs in there. So let's get to it. I'm doing this inspection at 1:30 in the afternoon, where most of the bees are out and about scavenging for pollen and whatnot. You can see there's a bee right there, but I'm protected. Let's see, you can see oh, there was one good instance of pollen, some nice yellow pollen on one of the bees coming in. All right, let's get to it. Big rock is for raccoons or bears or whatever. They can't get into the hive as easy. They're going crazy. I already see a few beetles on top of the hive. That's no good. I think this is an emerald ash borer. Well, it's dead now. Fuck them. A bunch of squished bees right here. I have no idea how that happened. Maybe that happened during the last inspection. This is really weird to see. I don't know why this is. There's a bunch of bees, so maybe it's time to expand. That's kind of concerning. Did I squish those? I don't... No, I didn't see them last time when I was inspecting them there. All right, so let's... Usually this is for honeycomb, but I guess it's good for dead bees too. There's at least 40. Very weird. All right, where's my smoker? Up this video series, get some of you guys interested in beekeeping. The hive is about $200. You can build it yourself. The bees are about $200 as well. You can see a bunch of bees around me. Ooh. Okay. So the inner top is looking pretty good. No comb up here. I like to see that. That's very nice. Let's set this down. I think the bee population is doing really well, as I can just tell from up here. I believe this stuff is the last of the pollen patty. Oopsie doodles. Let's not disturb the bees even more. Yeah, this is the pollen patty, so let's remove that. I don't even think they're interested in that anymore because right now in Wisconsin, a bunch of flowers are blooming. Well, a few of them are eating it. I think I could just pick this up because it's like a piece of paper. All right, remove that. Let's check the beetle traps at first. We basically just fill these with olive oil. There's no beetles in there, so maybe there's just beetles hanging out on the top of the hive. Get the hell off of there. All right, I don't know if I'm smoking too much, but the bees are a little bit more wild than I've seen them before. All right, let's inspect some of these frames here. See what we got going on. Oh, behave. Get it? Behave? Okay. Anyways. The other beetle trap. There's maybe one or two some kind of larva or something in there. I actually brought the olive oil out and I spilled some of it, so I feel like kind of stupid. Because that stuff's expensive. Okay. All right, so the edge one has no, maybe it's not time to expand. It was just probably too cold these last few days. The edge one has none. This edge one has no honey on it. Okay, this one's starting to get it. Actually pretty good, actually. No eggs in there. That's fine. There's some really nice capped honey. This is a little much. We're gonna have to try to get these bees out of there. Oh, little babies are coming out. Little baby butt bees. Smush that down. They'll reuse that stuff. Oh, I just squished a bee. Apologies. Yeah, this is looking pretty good, and it's actually pretty heavy. So all the middle ones are filled with bees. So we're gonna leave those alone. Okay, so this is the drone, the male bees that are a little bit bigger, and the mites tend to want to lay in here. I can see a bunch of larvae, and there's no mites on them. I believe last time this was all like capped over, so a lot of these have grown and came out of its shell, so I don't think I see any larva here. Oh, look at that, there's some honey. But I mean, you don't eat this one, but I just love how it looks. I can't wait to get my first taste. Where you guys going? And then this very end one is starting to get a little bit of comb, which we like to see. There's a big one. So I don't think I need to do any kind of mite treatment. Most of these frames have honey on them, and they're like really full, like these middle ones. Let's go just check them out. They're kind of stuck together. Yeah, I mean, see, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty. So I don't know if I necessarily need to expand yet. Like I said, it was rainy the last 3 days, so maybe they didn't really get to put as much comb and stuff in here, especially on these ones. So the entrance is right here. Obviously, they're going to fill it up over here, and this is going to be their least priority. And there's one or two, okay, there's like two without comb on it yet at the very edge. Since I'm not going to inspect them again, like you don't want to inspect them so often because you got to disturb them, I'm going to make an executive decision and expand them with the second box. I'm sure they'll fill that up nicely during the next few weeks where the weather's supposed to be like basically perfect. It was like super rainy. I mean, you can see the water pooling there. You can see how damp this dirt looks. This was a total failure. I'm gonna remove that and put it back in the sunlight where I can like grow some other types of plants. A little side note, I did some more livestock housekeeping with my chicken. I gave him a nice bath. It had poopy butts, so that's going to help it out a little bit. It can't wipe its own ass, so I have to do it for him. Now, one tip I would give you guys that I hear all the time is you want basically no space in between the combs. So you have to, I should be using my tool a little bit more often. That's what it's for, my Hive tool. But any space that you have for the bees, they're going to build on it. So yeah, there's 2 frames without any types of comb, or maybe one, like 1.5 without any kind of comb. But I think it's just time to expand since I'm not going to check them out for another few weeks. So I really, like I said, I really like how this red turned out. I'm going to build back better. So I'm pretty sure you just put it on top. On the bottom, it's basically, it's like a hole on the top and a hole in the bottom. It's basically 4 walls. You can see if I remove one of the frames, it's a gap. The gap gets fixed. Now, if there is a little bit of a gap, there's not much you can do. You would rather have it on the edge. All right. Ooh. We are expanding the operation. So basically these 2 are for the bees. They get honey. They get to eat that honey throughout the winter or through periods where it's super rainy. And then we're going to put a super on top of this with the queen excluder so that the queen doesn't lay any eggs. And that super is a little bit smaller, but all that honey is for me. Maybe we'll sell some honey in the future, who knows? So you put the top on. Bada bing, bada boom. I see a lot of beekeepers have whites or lighter paints. I think that's to keep it cooler, but I'm in Wisconsin, so maybe I want it darker to keep it warmer in the winter, because that's one of my concerns is how are we going to keep the hive warm during the cold winter months. There's like a wrap, like an insulated wrap that you can put around it. By the way, I'm in my underwear right now, and I've never felt more free in my life. So we checked for mites. I didn't see any signs of mites. I checked to see if the beetles got taken care of. I saw a few larvae in the oil, but I haven't really seen much evidence of beetles. I checked this planter, total failure. We're gonna learn from our mistakes, and obviously it's not getting much sunlight in here. And we expanded the hive. I did check to see if there was comb on every single frame. It was maybe 80% filled up, and it was really rainy these last few days, and I figured, well, if I wait another 2 weeks to inspect it, it might get even worse and more crowded, and they might really fill up those frames fast. And if they get overcrowded, they're gonna swarm, and then, or they leave, basically abstain, or at least half of them do. So we don't want that, when we can have all the workers work on this one and then work on my next one. So another successful inspection, I believe. It was kind of concerning to see all those squished ones, and I did lose some of this extra virgin olive oil. I spilled it. You can see it's all the way down there. It was like halfway full, so that was a mistake. But like I said, guys, thank you for watching this beekeeping video and this little series that I'm doing. It's another aspect of my life. I know a lot of people didn't see White Boy 7th Street doing the beekeeping, getting the chickens and all that stuff, but this is kind of a dedication to my mom. You know, she really liked the outdoors. So did my dad, and we would go up north on vacation every year for 4th of July, and I just, you know, those were special times. So I just basically try to continue their legacy. I really wish they were here to help me, and they would have so much knowledge and stuff. But I love how this red turned out, man. I love staining wood. Like I said, I mean, I've stained this one. It just like absorbs into the wood, and then it hardens it a little bit, and the color is like so rich, but it's not like one plain color like paint. It has like hues, and it like ebbs and flows. I really like staining stuff. So maybe let's get a thumbnail. Yeah, I think I would rather be early than late on expanding the hive. There's not too many negatives for it. Maybe that bottom frame all the way on the edge might get neglected a little bit, but now if you expand the super too fast, or just ignore this middle one, and then they're gonna starve during the winter. So we're gonna really pay attention before adding the super on the very tip top with the queen excluder. So the queen excluder prevents the queen from going there, and there will lay no eggs. We also seen the queen was very healthy. We've seen all those larvae in there. They're still laying eggs. I didn't really want to get to the middle too much. I felt like I didn't need to check on the queen, since the population seems to be growing and healthy. Before you inspect your beehive, you want to have a little checklist. I think we checked most of the things off. The only thing is, I would like to see that very edge frame, the furthest from the entrance, have some bee activity, but there's pretty much none whatsoever. But I'm kind of assuming that it was raining for the last week, and that's the problem. I could have probably waited a few days before I inspected, but it was 2 weeks since my last inspection, and I saw some activity outside the hive where they were very active. It started to seem like bearding, and I didn't want it to get too overcrowded, and I didn't want them to leave. Maybe that was a slight mistake. Maybe I could have waited it off a little bit. I feel like since this is my first time beekeeping, I'm really trying my hardest to be patient and like wait and wait and wait, and not over inspect, because that could be a problem that I've seen people talk about through like YouTube tutorials and stuff. I'm no expert, so you guys are learning with me, and I appreciate you guys watching the second beekeeping video. It's been your host with the most, Boy 7th Street. I did make a Black Ops 6 breakdown video if you want to see that other side of my life, my indoor life, and this is my outdoor life. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Even right now, the bees are like very chill. I could probably take this off and not really worry about them at all. Holy moly, this, it's so like my neck hurts every time like I have to crunch my neck to get into this thing. Now that I'm not protected, I gotta get away from here. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Headbutt. And I'm back out here. I'm removing this raised garden bed, putting the dirt into the wheelbarrow, and then bringing this whole setup to the sunlight. Got to plant some vegetables there. But I realized why all those squished bees were at the top, because I came out here and this top lid was off center. And when I uploaded my previous video, beekeeping, I noticed during editing that it was off center. I came out here and I did a slight adjustment, and that must have squished them. So mystery solved. But I did it twice now, so The third time, I really got to take a mental note not to do it, because you just put the lid on and you think it's nice and secure, but there's like a huge gap, and yeah, so rookie mistakes.